on the Deseret First Credit Union hotline, the man, the myth, the legend, the insider of college football, producing the always heavily talked about Steele college football previews, joining us. Phil, nice to have you back on the program. How are you?
You know, I am doing great. So much better than last year at this time, guys, when we were wondering if we're even going to play a football season. And who knew what BYU's schedule was going to be last year at this time. So much better in 2021.
Not very many teams benefited from COVID, and I'm not going to say it wasn't a grind for BYU as well, as they tested every other day all season long and had guys in and out and coaches in and out. So it's tough for everybody. But did any team benefit more from the COVID season than BYU last season?
No, and you know, the perfect irony of it was usually I'd talk to Coach SITAKE, and I'll talk to him for an hour and a half. And at the end of the conversation, we were just about to hang up last year. He goes, you know, Phil, we don't play the schedules we used to play at BYU. And I was like, okay, see you, Coach. And I'm like, that's an interesting thought. I hadn't really thought about that. And then, boom, they played the type of schedule they used to play. And look at what BYU did, a fantastic season and dominating almost every opponent down the stretch. So it was his best team ever, experience-wise. They played the schedule. There was a dream schedule. And if not for some games scheduled 2 days in advance where they have to fly to the East Coast and prepare for an option offense, they would have easily have run the table last year.
Phil Steele is on BYU Sports Nation. You brought up Coach SITAKE. We were just talking about the Sporting News ranking all 130 college football coaches. They have KALANI at number 46. Both Blaine and I here feel like that might be a little bit too low, but again, we're tied into the program. We see him on a day-to-day basis relatively, and there may be some bias there too because the show's called BYU Sports Nation. But Phil, where would you rank KALANI SITAKE? Do you feel like 46 is maybe undervaluing him a little bit, or where it needs to be?
Well, there are a lot of good head coaches in college football. I mean, there's only 130 spots available, and most of the guys in there are outstanding. But I thought with the job he did last year, clearly I would have put him top 40. I don't know if I have him in the top 20 quite yet. I'd like to see a few more years like last year strung together. But definitely, I would. If you're giving me an over/under on that ranking, I would go higher number than that. Better number.
Agreed with that, Phil. Thanks for that.
Thank you for validating us, Phil.
And we agree with you 100% on the fact that now they have to have this consistent pattern. You want to be considered Lavelle Edwards, you have to have a consistent pattern of winning and not just have it be once in a while. So we're with you on that one. Yeah, we didn't have him in our top 20, but we just thought 46 with what he deals with and the limits that he had was maybe just a little bit low at this point. So let's talk about BYU's ranking. We know you give a power ranking, but you also talk about where you see these teams finishing, which I love that thought prospect. When the thing's all said and done, this is where I see these teams, and we always love to go to that section of your magazine, and you have BYU finishing at 50 this year. Talk about what went into that thought, and why. In our minds, we're like, whoa, why so low? But again, of course, this is BYU Sports Nation, right, Phil?
And, you know, the one thing about this year, guys, and the one thing that was consistent talking, I talked to a little over 110 of the 130 head coaches this year. Almost every head coach this year was talking about their experience level. You know, Phil, we went 3 deep in the spring. We are so loaded with experienced players. Everybody's got 16, 17, 18, 19 returning starters coming back. Give you an example. You go to the Pac-12 and Colorado. Colorado's got 16 returning starters this year. Now, normally that puts you number 2 or number 3 in the conference. That's actually the second fewest returning starters in the Pac-12. So everybody has got experienced teams this year. And meanwhile, BYU lost some players. They only have 11 returning starters coming back. They lose the second overall pick in the draft at quarterback. So it's an inexperienced squad. But then the other part's the schedule, and it's factored in. And generally when I'm doing the ranking, guys, it's in the last 2 days of the magazine, and I'm looking at my 9 sets computer rankings, and they're all melded together, and I'm going for top wins and losses. And I want to make sure that my top 40 are all in bowl games, my top 45, top 50 are even all in bowl games. They do have to play USC on the road this year. I would have an underdog in that game. The Georgia Southern game's a tricky one because that's the option offense, and they're tough. Washington State's going to be a much improved team this year. Baylor's going to be a vastly improved team last year. Both those teams had first-year head coaches last year. It didn't have the benefit of spring practice, and we're drastically changing their schemes. I think those two will be much tougher. Boise's not going to be an easy test. Andy Angelos stepping into a good situation there. And then Utah and Arizona State are probably two of the top three teams in the Pac-12 this year. BYU could very well be underdogs in both of those games. So I didn't quite see them getting back to the double-digit wins this year with that schedule and the experience level that they have. But in the power poll, we've got them ranked higher.
Yeah, that's what we noted that in the power poll. You had them a little bit higher, and you've got some of their position players ranked really high. You had Tyler Algier, their returning running back, 1,000-yard rusher, is the number 9 draft-eligible running back in the country. You've got James Empey at number 7, their center, number 7 center in the country. You got the kicker, Jake Oldroyd, number 4, and their overall special teams ranked as a top 10 special teams unit in the country. So, hey, we know you gave them a little bit of love, Phil, and you even stated in your article that maybe BYU would outperform. There's a good possibility they could outperform projections. What do you see as their biggest strength going into this season?
Excuse me. I'd have to say 2 areas. Running back. As you mentioned with Algier, I mean, he's a guy that moved over from linebacker at the end of 2 years ago, had a really good final 3 games. And then last year, once he came on, he was just dynamic. He averaged 7.5 yards per carry, rushed for over 1,000 yards. And then they've got Katoa behind him. And Katoa is another guy that could very well work himself into an NFL camp by the end of his career. And then the offensive line. I mean, the offensive line has got 3 returning starters, but they are deep. Going over the team with Coach SITAKE, I had question marks in a lot of different areas, and I would say, like on the defensive line, for example, I'd say, yeah, I'm really concerned about this area. He's like, I'm not as concerned about it, Phil. I feel pretty good about it. So, but the 2 areas is the best strengths, I would have to say. Offensive line, running back, and then perhaps linebacker would be the best unit on the defense.
Okay, you maybe just brought it up as we look at the other end of this conversation, and that is, what is the biggest perceived weakness or biggest question mark for BYU? Is it the quarterback replacing Zach Wilson, or is it the defensive line?
Those would be my 2 biggest areas. And like I said, I told Coach SITAKE, I go, I'm very concerned about this defensive line. Then he said he's not, and he likes the 3 deep of it and thinks they're going to play extremely well and be very close to last year. We'll wait and see, but he's been correct in the past in some of the things he's told me, very correct, more so, and he knows his team extremely well. The quarterback situation, I think they've got 3 good candidates there. Conover, Hall, and Romney, all solid guys. I think they're going to put up good stats, but they're not going to put up Zach Wilson stats this year. I mean, 33 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 74% completions. That's not going to happen. So both areas would be a concern, but once again, Coach SITAKE doesn't think they're going from a strength to a weakness. They just might not be as strong as last year.
I noted, Phil, that as you listed the quarterbacks, you had Jacob Conover's name listed first as a projected guy there. Give us the thought process behind the youngster being the guy that gets the nod.
Well, he's a guy that came into the spring, and he's got a live arm, a great playmaker, and he had a really good spring. And Jaron Hall was there, Braylon Romney was there, but I like it when a freshman quarterback comes in and produces in the spring because their upside's higher. The more reps they get, the better it is. So I just gave him the higher upside of the 3, and I'm thinking that when the fall rolls around, he'll end up winning that job.
Phil Steele is on BYU Sports Nation. Okay, let's go back to rankings because all BYU fans, especially as an independent, want to know how to remain relevant, and that is largely tied into the top 25. So looking at that schedule, and you went through a gauntlet of really tough opponents for BYU, what type of record in the 12-game regular season would BYU have to post to have a legitimate shot at finishing for a second consecutive year in the top 25?
Probably 9. I think 9 would definitely put you in the top 25 against that schedule this year. Because there would be some upsets along the way. Playing the top 3 teams out of the Pac-12 South and USC, Utah, and Arizona State, all 3 teams I think will enter potentially double-digit wins this year. That right there sets it up well. And then, as I mentioned, Baylor and Washington State are much better than people give them credit for. Bronco Mendenhall coming back to BYU on October 30th. He's not wild about that, by the way. They play Boise State at home. I think if they get to 9 wins, I'm putting them in the top 25.
And, they've got 7 P5s on this schedule. How many of those do they have to win? I mean, and are they allowed to lose to anybody other than a P5? So, what do you expect then to go against those 7?
Yeah, and the thing is, normally when I do the magazine, I spend it takes about 3 to 4 weeks for the magazine to hit the newsstands. And in that time, I go through every game on the schedule and have whether I have the team favored or underdog. So far, I'm only through 5 games with BYU. I've got them underdog against Utah and Arizona State. Slight underdog, not a big underdog in either game, but a slight underdog. So far, I've got them down with 2 losses, but I haven't finished the rest of the schedule yet. I'm on week 6 right now, so it's going to take me a little bit of time. The good news is going exclusively to Barnes & Noble and Books A Million like we did this year. In the past, it would take 3 to 4 weeks to hit the magazine's places. Barnes & Noble, Books A Million had them on the shelf about a week after we went to the press. So that's been the big advantage of going exclusive this year. But unfortunately, it's put me a little behind in my overall estimation. So when I look at a matchup, I like to look at everything. I like to look at how the teams match up against each other, the series history, the location, the situation, all that stuff involved. So off the cuff, I can't really give you a number until I actually go through each matchup.
Yeah, totally fair.
We get it. But 9 wins is the watermark for a top 25 in your mind. I like that.
And I don't care who you beat and who you lose to, because if you lose 3 bad games, but you beat Utah, Arizona State, and USC, you're going to be in the top 25, okay?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter which 9. Give me 9 wins, and I'll put you in the top 25.
Sure. There may be some serious question marks about what's going on against the lesser opponents if you're beating those 3, but that's a conversation and discussion for another day. Okay, let's just have some fun. I know you haven't gone through game by game as far as like who should be favored and who shouldn't be, but if you had to pinpoint the toughest opponent on BYU's schedule right now, who is the toughest team that BYU is going to face in 2021?
And once again, you have to factor in home and away. So I'm going to use at USC on November the 27th. I would put USC, Utah, Arizona State, all very close talent-wise. But BYU gets Utah at home and they get Arizona State at home. They have to travel to face USC, and it's going to be their 2nd straight road trip, and they're coming off facing the option of Georgia Southern. I'm never wild about facing the option 1 week and then playing the next week because of all the cut blocking and things that go on. So I think that is going to be their toughest game on the schedule, would be at USC this year.
Phil, we've got our copy of your college football preview sitting on the desk with us. It is always an enjoyable read. So much information. You mentioned a couple of ways that fans, BYU and college football fans in general, can get it. What's the fastest way to get that information if they don't have it right now?
Yeah, the best way to get the magazine, it's 352 pages. It's like getting 130 different media guides rolled into one, is to go to a Barnes & Noble or a Books A Million. And if you go to Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, you have it today in your hands, no shipping, no handling, no anything else, and you got the best magazine out there. It's heavy, it's thick, but if you can't get to a Barnes & Noble or Books A Million, then go to the website, philsteele.com. When you go to philsteele.com, we ship them out 2-day FedEx. So they'll get there, probably give us a day to process it, 2 days to ship FedEx. You'll have it in your hands in 3 days. And it'll take you about 2 months to read through one, but it's well worth it and something you refer to all season long.
Yeah, we can attest to that for sure.
And we're all excited about football season, Phil. Fans in stands, football is back.
Oh, love it. I love it. That is such a huge thing, and I can't wait to see the crowds again.
It's great to talk to you, Phil. We'll do it again soon. Thanks so much.
Hey, thanks for having me on. A lot of fun talking football with you guys today.
Thanks, Phil.
College Football Insider Magazine producer Phil Steele on the Deseret First Credit Union Hotline. Deseret First, you know why, we show how.